Hey everyone, time for a new build video. For this one, I decided to go with Freyna because I was really proud of this build. It took me a few hours to perfect in my eyes. So we'll get started, and I'm going to start with the reactor. And obviously, we're doing a Contagion build, so all her skills, her damage skills are tech. So we went with a tech, toxic mechanics reactor. A lot of people go with cooldown on this. I don't really. The one I had, I want her to be able to do more damage. So I've got one that had tech and toxic as the roles. I maxed those out. Made sure there was a tactical rifle mount on it. We'll go over that in a second. But next we went over to the external components, and I went with a full plague set, simply because it gives you, with just a two-piece, you get that tech skill power of 5%, but as you're getting custom resources, you get even more toxic skill damage of another 21.6 seconds, plus the 43.2% from the toxic skill power. So it just increases her toxic damage more and more and more. All right, the only gun I would recommend, definitely a Secret Garden, simply because it obviously it's already mounted on this mechanics reactor. Secret Garden, specifically on the unique ability, under pest control, when using a tech skill, you get firearm attack, you get skill power, you get duration. It's literally, the gun was made to boost tech abilities. So that's definitely the gun you want. As for the build, it's a pretty basic build. It just honestly helps her. It does decent damage, but you're not really doing damage with this gun. You're literally here. It's literally there for your, as a stat stick to help you out with your tech abilities. But you also want your basic things like action, reaction, rifling, expanded weapon charge, some of the crit damage, up fire rate, things like that. Like I said, plus the external extended magazines to give you more bullets. But the sharp precision shot also there, it helps you with your fourth ability, which your fourth ability is one that you use on bosses because it does a ridiculous amount of damage. And with sharp precision shot on this gun, it starts to shoot faster and faster and faster as you go. Plus with the extra magazines, you can shoot it for much longer. I've just got some basic stuff on here like crit damage, crit rate, firearm attack, more rounds per magazines. We want more bullets. Firearm attack, crit damage, sprint speed, grappling hook. That's just for quality of life improvements, just to make it to where you can run a little faster. You've always got access to your grappling hook, things like that. All right, next we're gonna go for the modules. All right, with this build, obviously we went with Contagion. This is obviously one of those dealer's choice. You want to do long distance or midair, whatever. Now, we didn't go for maximum cooldown, even though cooldown seems to be kind of one of those things you want on your character, simply because, well, the more cooldown you have, the more time you have to where your skills are always ready. You want that to happen. You want them to be available when you need them. So we went with, the normal MP conversion, minimal fingers for cooldown, obviously. And then we got focus on tech, which gives you that tech boost plus a little bit more cooldown, which is only, I think, negative 68.2 here. Then we got the amplification, the toxic and tech. They give you good amounts of tech and toxic power. And obviously it drops your critical hit rate, critical hit damage, but she doesn't use crit at all, so that's completely fine. Doesn't matter. Skill expansion, it makes that toxic reach further out. Extension, it lasts on the ground longer, plus it helps with your fourth ability to keep shooting longer. Power increase is what I put here instead of focus on toxic, simply because it increases her skill power, and that also translates over to her fourth ability, which means she's doing 3, 4, 5, 600,000 a bullet with that thing. It's crazy. It really is. And then dangerous ambush, obviously, because there's a lot of enemies that aren't even like targeting you at all. They're across the screen and they're getting hit with toxic, blowing up, and just getting damaged left and right. So you're getting even more damage with that. Veterans Tactics is almost exclusively for your fourth ability. That thing has a really long cooldown. It takes forever, and this Veterans Tactics as you're killing enemies, it'll come out. It'll just sometimes it'll just boom, just completely make it available for you. Like I said, it resets a cooldown of random skill at 19.4% chance. So it doesn't always happen, but it helps you get that that fourth ability, her toxic rifle out a lot faster, and it's definitely good for those bosses. All right, so for the RK tuning, this is how we went with it. You know, you want health because she doesn't have a whole lot of health. It's enough. And then we went over here, got skill power, cost, effect range, and then the gold skill power. Went straight up here for more cooldowns. Need that cooldown. Then we went up here for more skill power, and I went with poison vulnerability instead of toxic cohesion, simply because you are almost always inflicting poison on your enemies because the toxin is out there everywhere. So you're almost always getting that 9.5% skill power, whereas with cohesion, there's not always 100% chance you're going to be using it. So there's a chance. It's got potential for more damage, but you have to stack it up 3 times, and it isn't always available for you. This one, with her toxic, it's always going to be available. All right, so now, last things last, the inversion reinforcement. Obviously, you know, she doesn't have a whole lot of health, only about 11,000. I think a little more 11,000. So this will help a little bit. It'll knock you up about 13,000 or so whenever you're in the middle of fights. And then you want to make sure she's got that MP because she uses MP all the time. And then right here, with this, it should knock her cooldown almost to max, just under maximum, which is negative 90%. So this should keep you alive, should keep you have your MP, and should keep you to where all your skills are cooled down and ready to go.
The operation zone. Proceed with caution.
Transport has dropped a wide-range shaping charge on the ground. We need it to purify the void energy. Prime the detonator with your RK, then hit the detonation device.
Why?
Mission complete.